lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary, Maiyegun #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary.
Thank you very much for joining me. This is Maiyegun live. And from wherever you are watching from, good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining me. Share the broadcast. I'm going to do the same. Tell everyone, Maiyegun is live again. Come and hear the latest that we just heard from Maradona, Babangida. There is more tonight. Share the broadcast. If there is anything that my generation, your generation, being alive today, witnessing this, if there's anything that we are pushing and forcing those who told us then that the Nigerian unity is non-negotiable, they are now speaking in different tones, apologetic, because the last of them is in power. Yes, they will not just relinquish the power, they will relinquish the control, their grip, their unwritten agreement of the non-negotiable Nigeria. This generation will force them to abdicate. Some said, Maiyegun, you have a microphone. You don't need to shout. Do you really think, I am shouting? Oh dear. You should at least realize one thing. If you know how wrecked, how destroyed, how ruined they have made Nigeria and those in it, in fact, you will tell me, Maiyegun, increase the volume. Nigeria, the crippled giant of Africa. Those who crippled Nigeria are the people telling us that all we need right now is to continue to endure. Maybe when they are long gone, their children will keep repeating same, telling you and I, or telling my own children to endure. They told my parents to endure. They are both dead now. They did not see the Nigeria they told them. Many of you like me, who no longer have fathers or mothers anymore, your parents were told that the Nigeria they were building for them, the Nigeria they were suffering for, the Nigeria they are being killed for, will soon be better, if not in their lifetime, in the lifetime of their children. Now you have children. Some of you are already grandma now. Yes. Some of you are already grandma. Your children are already bearing children. And here you are. The same group of people who never gave us the written agreement where they said Nigeria unity or Nigeria whatever is non-negotiable. The same people continue to repeat the same thing. And many of you still believe that. But it won't be much longer. As long as this generation continue to ask questions. I remember when we started, I told people, I said, the first thing to find a solution to a problem is to agree that there is a problem. When you agree that there is a problem, please go further to identify what are the problems. If you are good enough, go deeper and identify the perpetrators of those problems because they have names. And that's what we did on Maiyegun's Diary Politico. That is why the word elder statesman is a fraud in Nigeria. Retired general this, general that, lieutenant, major general, blah, 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 and all the title they gave to themselves. Every one of them who has served in Nigeria military, every one of them, the title they gave to themselves were stolen. They were titled that was not because they defended Nigeria. It is their titles that they didn't get because they prospered Nigeria. They got those titles. They gave themselves those titles. General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, General Olusegun Obasanjo, General Theophilus Danjuma, General. And when you ask them, how did they become general? You realize that it is because they either participated in a genocide that they called civil war that led to killing of over 5 million human beings from the Igbo land. Now, killing 5 million people to keep a country that they agree was in tatters. Now, 50 years after that, the same characters are telling you and me that, you know what? There's been a lot of problems, but we don't really have to break up. There's been a lot of injustices. You know, we just need to find a way. The same lie they tell you every now and then to wait. And many of you, let me put it this way. In 1999, they said all we needed was democracy to guarantee people's liberty, freedom of this, freedom of that, and then the prosperity of self-governance where you can decide who represents you and not by decree and all of that nonsense. They lied to us. They stole 22 years of our lives. If you are my age, this will make sense to you. 22 years of our lives were stolen by this gang of marauders and manipulators in the name of one Nigeria. Now, for 22 years of democracy, where are we? What is the difference now? You are now back to militocracy, led by Boko Haram from the Sahel. And those who paved way for that, they are back again, close to his grave. And Babangida had this to say, no matter how annoying this might sound to you, I just want it to be on record. They asked him about the problem, the insecurity and the rest of that. And the injustice that has led to the people of Biafra demanding to leave Nigeria. The people of Yoruba land demanding to leave Nigeria. But as the unity beggar that they are, generation from generation, he was pleading unity as well. But there is something. Now, what they never thought will become the conversation around breaking up of Nigeria peacefully so that everybody can just go his own way. Go and manage your destiny. If we take care of our own destiny in Yoruba land for the next 50 years, we can then go back and compare. Compare to when you were in Nigeria. I mean, what do we have to lose? We've lost everything being part of Nigeria. What do we have left? Just our life that can be snuffed out of us, out of our life in any moment from now. So he started preaching unity. And, you know, he wasn't really addressing the injustice. Then he dropped a bombshell. A bombshell that we can all call a dog whistle. He said, if Nigeria should be better, again, according to their one Nigeria fraud, then you should never allow Atiku and Tifnumbu to gain access to anywhere near presidency. He also said, people who call them thieves, who call them thief and killer, murderer, can now see the difference between Boko Haram and them, because they now, he said, his own regime now look more like a saint to Boko Haram. Is it his fault? It's not his fault now. No be the greedy people where they look for the dead body, went to the grave, to graveyard, to dig out a dead mannequin who has been dead politically by all value for 30 years, a ghost of Abacha alive. They brought about Boko Haram, and the ghost now has run many of them out of town. So, Babangida said, do not let these guys come in. If you have to do anything at all, do it for anyone younger. Another blah, 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 blah that he said. This is the part I cut out. Let's take a few minutes to at least listen. From every nonsense, there are some senses, I think you might have to check.
So, Your Excellency, would you say then, based on what you have just said, that the tyranny of the elite is what has contributed, for example, to the security situation that Nigeria finds itself in right now? There's banditry, kidnapping, there's terrorism in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, secessionist sentiments in the southeast, even in the southwest, secessionist sentiments, banditry also, kidnapping all across the country. What do you think is a fundamental problem, and what is the way out of this vicious cycle of insecurity?
I think the problem is leadership. There is a disconnect between the leadership and the followership. There is a disconnect. If there is no disconnect, when people relate with each other at various leadership levels and talk about the community, about the state, about the federation, then we wouldn't have problem whatsoever. We don't have core values in the country that everybody depends all the time. You defend that core value. You are a Nigerian, this is what you believe in, and anything short of that, you are not going to be, it is not going to be acceptable. I give you, when we were in the military, we talked about settled issues about Nigeria. The unity of Nigeria, as far as we were concerned, was a settled issue. Presidentialism was a settled issue. Market economy, free market, was not socialism, was a settled issue. The federation also is a settled issue. Nobody will come and say, Nigeria is no longer a federation or something.
When you say settled issue, are you saying in another way that it's non-negotiable? Because that seems to have, that's the refrain. But some argue that it should be negotiable.
No.
That we should sit down at the table. If we decide to be one, then we stay one. If we still want to go our separate ways, why not?
No, we decided to be one. How many years ago? About 50, 51 years ago. And we have been in that position for the last 51 years. Why should we keep on repeating? Let's sit down. You can have not less than 100 conferences in this country that Nigerians themselves sat down and talked about on how to remain one, how to work with the federating units in the country, how to operate locally, and so on and so forth. I think there are issues that we shouldn't be talking about them now, but rather...
What should we be talking about now?
We should be talking about how to encourage, how to strengthen what we have agreed in the last... If you agree we are going to be united Nigeria since 51 years ago, we should now be talking on how to strengthen that unity. If we are going to have a federating unit, we should now be talking about how we want to see our federation. If we want to talk about the local governments, whether they should have free fund, whether they should govern themselves, we should tell them, or we should be talking on how this could be achieved.
Do you think something similar to the Politburo, which you set up, to give Nigerians the opportunity to explore some of the issues you're talking about? Do you think Nigeria needs something similar? We've had the 2014 National Conference and so many talk shops
and
that haven't not led
I'm glad you used the word talk shop. That's what it is. You went to the shop, you talked, you came back home, abandoned it, and then somebody says, no, we need that conference. Again, it has been done. Political Bureau has laid down everything. But I think the tyranny of the elites is what is the main problem. So
what's the way out?
The way out when I told you leadership, the leaders should understand Nigeria and Nigerians. So anybody who wants a position of leadership, you must be a person who will be able to use your intellect for the benefit. There are things you believe, either in Niger or whatever, and I want to lead the state. Fine. This is, if you talk about, this is an agricultural state, agrarian state. My thought will be how to take advantage of that God-given situation to better the well-being of the people.
Do you think it's just a lack of understanding of Nigeria and Nigerians that's missing within the leadership, or just outright lack of love and care for Nigeria and Nigerians? Isn't that what, is possibly missing?
From my experience,
yes,
Nigerians are very resilient people, very, very fertile-minded people. So if you want to lead them, you have to take a lot of things into consideration. They are very good. They are very resilient. They are very industrious. So how do I put all this together to achieve a common objective?
Is that where restructuring, for example, comes in? Because a lot of people say, in fact, some have blamed you as part of the problem in terms of the structure of the of the nation presently. You created 11 states. If I'm wrong, please correct me. 11 states during your time as military president. And some say it further alienated the leadership from the followership, the leaders from the people. And you've been quoted as saying that the time to restructure Nigeria is now. If we say restructuring is the way to go, what manner of restructuring are we talking about? Should it be regionalism or what?
No, it's amazingly interesting. If you check from my findings, restructuring means different thing to different people in this country. We don't have a common interpretation. That's the first basic problem that we are going to have. What does it mean? We haven't defined it. The way I see it is what we started.
Which is?
Give the people at the lowest level to the highest level opportunity to participate on how they are governed, or
I know many of you were really raging listening to him. I told you it will be on record that he said that. But here is the one that I actually wanted to listen to, where he advised the young people, right, on what to do in 2023. The show is just starting. You can share the broadcast if you are just joining, right? And if you are a youth looking forward to 2023, don't look forward to any 2023 election. You will be deceiving yourself and helping to validate the fraud that they are going to package for you. And don't think these guys don't know what they are going to tell you. That will make you think, maybe we should listen. If you listen, it will be worse than what you are currently saying with what they are plotting. However, let me show you what he said when he was advising you, the young people.
I have started visualizing a good Nigerian leader.
Who is that?
A person who travels in this country and has a friend virtually everywhere he travels. He knows at least one person that he can communicate with. A person who is very vast in economic because of the development, and then a good politician who should be able to talk to the Nigerians and so on. I have seen one or two or three already.
Young, middle-aged, elderly?
60s. Yeah.
You think that person should emerge in 2023?
I believe so, if we could get him.
They already have their white card. So they will just rigmarole you and make you think, oh, that's true. Maybe you are being deceived. Well, if you actually believe that, then I don't think a majority of my viewers actually believe everything that came out of that his mouth. But it's good to listen to that. He has opinion how Nigeria should be. He said restructuring means different things to different people. He's referring to them from the north, the parasites that their elites they have become. And until their own people probably sum up courage enough to challenge them, take them to the cleaners, and then dethrone them. You see those ones in the south, I can assure you, with time, very soon, they will be dislodged from their high horses, right? And the message from the south to the north, will no longer be the same, friendly, communicative with those criminals from the north, called the elites there. They are unity beggar. How can restructuring mean different things to different people? Before 1966, when Babangida, this man, Bokwari, Theophilus Danjuma, Muritala, and many, many of them like that, staged their northern retaliatory coup that brought in Gowon, and then forcefully kept Nigeria as one, controlled by just one person, surrounded by coterie of other criminals who are ready to what? To keep the entire country in that bond of forceful bondage. We agreed. Who are the we that I was referring to? Who were the we? Of course, you know the we, the owners of Nigeria. If you haven't really seen my expose on the owners of Nigeria, go on to Maiyegun's diary Politico. There are videos that explained about the owners of Nigeria on this platform. They were the we. They were the ones who decided that, you see, with this deal, the oil in the south, will share it 80%, 20%. All of you, our boys in the south, will give you this percentage. And you see, this 80%, we agree it will belong to the north. Yes or no? Yes, sir. They agreed. And we are just telling them that whatever they agreed on, as they are nearing their graves, they are losing the grip. And there is no amount of other lies, manipulation, and deceit will keep it tighter ever again.